Get up, stand up for your right.
My name is Ann Kubricks, and you are tuned into Saving the Niger Delta with Ann Kubricks. Security, not only security to do with people breaking into your home, God forbid, or into your car, kidnapping, God forbid, every bad thing, God forbid, but Boko Haram, headsmen, the clashes, the killings in Kaduna, in Borno, in Benue, in the northeast, really, Zamfara, Taraba, all these things, the daily killings that seem to go on, that do go on in Nigeria. Now, I want us to look at it from the perspective of how it involves us and the inability of the federal government and the army and the police and everybody who, one way or the other, including you and I, one way or the other, who are in charge of security and should be interested in security, and unfortunately sometimes are victims of this insecurity. Now, for the past 4 years, we know, we hear, and we see on social media, and unfortunately, I believe that the secular media, that is the newspapers, the radio stations, the TV stations, do not highlight the facts and the information of what is actually going on in Nigeria when it comes to insecurity. Insecurity has been politicized. Insecurity is being blamed on one section or one state or one governor, depending on what you're looking at and from what angle that you're looking at it from. Now, it is very frightening. I think that that is the correct word to use. It is very, very frightening that we find ourselves in this position in Nigeria, where on a daily basis, people go to sleep or not in their homes and may not wake up alive. And this is very clear that it is the failure of government. Now, the security of Nigeria by the 1999 Constitution is in the hands primarily of the federal government. Because the federal government directs the army, the federal government directs all the armed forces, the police, and everybody. And that is in charge of security, the customs, the immigration. Now, when what is going on in the northern part of Nigeria, the access that non-Nigerians have under the cover of whether it is religion, whether it is brotherhood, whether it is people from the same ethnic background but are in other countries, and so, or whether by culture or custom, Nigeria's border is very, very porous at the northern part. That's one. Two, these borders that are very porous, we in the Niger Delta should wake up from imagining and thinking that what is happening in the northeast, that because it has been described as headsmen, farmers clashes, that it is a clash. It is not a clash. It is a takeover. It is a run over of people stronger and more powerful than the owners of the land are coming in from outside Nigeria and are coming to take over the land. Now, it has been accepted that it has a lot to do with food. It has a lot to do with resource. Water is resource. Land is resource. That's why some of us talk about, when we talk about the situation of Nigeria, and you talk about change, and you talk about restructuring, you cannot run away from these issues of ownership. You cannot run away from the issue of resources. Resources is not only oil and gas. Now, in the past 2 days, it has become very clear from what the impression the government is giving, the federal government is giving, and the armed forces, and people who are supposed to be in control are telling us, is that these killings that has been going on in places like Zamfara has been going on because of illegal mining, because of mining of gold. Now, people in the Niger Delta, people in Nigeria should understand that this mining, illegal mining of gold or any other solid mineral that is in the north, has been going on for a very long time. It didn't start now. It has been going on quietly. And so the resources of Nigeria, as it should be, if oil is regarded as the resources of Nigeria, then whatever resources that is found in any other part of Nigeria should also be regarded and must be regarded as the resources of Nigeria. So it must, the gold in Zamfara should be regarded as the gold for Niger Delta. Because if people in the north are claiming ownership of the resources of oil and gas in the Niger Delta, then the Niger Delta people also have a right to claim ownership of the resources that is in Zamfara. That is the gold. Now, the problem is that the Constitution only claims as a government resource the oil and gas that is in the Niger Delta. Hence, we clamor for a change, a restructuring of Nigeria. Now, we restructure Nigeria for everybody to keep what they have, or we restructure Nigeria for all of us to share in what everybody has. That's really the bottom line as we are today in Nigeria. That's one aspect of it. Now, the other very serious concern for me is for us to look at, I want to raise for us to look at, is the issue that we feel that what is happening in places like Zamfara is too far away. My brothers and sisters of the Niger Delta region, what is happening in Zamfara is not too far away. Cross River borders in with the north. If you look at the zoning today, the geopolitical zoning as we have it, because you have Kogi, that is bordering Lokoja and all those places. From Lokoja through to Calabar, through to Akwa Ibom, River State, Abia and all those places, Enugu, it's not far at all. It's just hours drive away. So if we're sitting down here in the Niger Delta thinking that what is happening in the northeast is very, very far away from us, we're foolish. It is not far away from us. It is, it can happen overnight. We can go to sleep and wake up, God forbid. But it's not enough to say God forbid. We must realize the danger that we are already in. We're in very, very dangerous situation today. because we have been told in the past 4 years how critical the savannah, that is where we are, the green area where we are, where water is, we are regarded, the south is regarded as where water is. So in search of water, people are leaving not just the north of Nigeria, people are leaving other African countries and crossing into Nigeria under the cover of under the cover of ECOWAS, under the cover of AU, under all kinds of cover, religious covers, cultural covers, and coming into Nigeria. People who don't have Nigerian passports or citizenship are finding it very easy to come into Nigeria. And once anybody is in Nigeria, access to any part of Nigeria is very easy because we don't have internal border control. What we have are just places where either the army and the soldiers have put roadblocks, like in the Niger Delta, where we have roadblocks and JTF blocks, all in the name of looking after oil and gas that is in the Niger Delta. It is not there primarily for the security of Nigeria or for the security of the Niger Delta region or the southeast or the southwest, that is in effect the southern part of Nigeria. These are very, very critical issues. Now, when a state government like Rivers State or Bayelsa State does not have information as a right as to who gets in a bus and comes into their state without knowing why they are there and what they have come for, it becomes very, very dangerous. It is. Now, when we have situation where under the cover of one Nigeria and free access to any part of Nigeria by all Nigerians, including you and I, we can get up today, leave Port Harcourt, leave Bayelsa, leave Uyo in Akwa Ibom, and go to any part of Nigeria. The law says so. The Constitution says that we are free to do so. But what we must ask ourselves, and where our problems begin, is first, are we the type of people that have that kind of desire? Do we have that type of desire? Almost 95%, we do not have that type of desire. That does not mean that others should not have that type of desire. But by not having that type of desire, we have deprived ourselves of the right to the constitution that any other person is using to freely walk into the Niger Delta. Now, the law, the constitution that says that is the right thing to do for all Nigerians. Nobody is stopping you and I as Rivers people from packing our bags and going to Kano State to go and live there. Nobody is stopping us. But the question is, will we or do we want to? But because it is obvious by the people who put this constitution together that we will not, 9 out of 10 cases, we will not get up and leave Niger Delta State, Rivers State, and begin to go into other states as far away as northeast, northwest, or north central. The law, even though it applies to you and I, even though the right to do so apply to you and I, we have deprived ourselves or accepted that because somebody thinks we will not do so, they have made it possible for people who can do so. I hope people are understanding what I'm saying. Have made it possible for people who can easily do so to literally come into our state, so that the local economy, and due to our own negligence and laziness. The local economy, which is the source, the local economy of any community, of any state, of any LGA, is what you do at the local level. Whether you pick periwinkle, unfortunately the oil companies have destroyed our livelihood. Whether you pick periwinkle, whether you pick ngolo or ngwe, which does not exist anymore. Shell, thank you very much. Which does not exist anymore. The little farming, I grew up seeing farmland, even in Abonima. We grew okra, where in the morning my grandmother would go and pluck okra and use it to cook, or go to the market and use it to cook. It was not imported from Port Harcourt. It was grown in Abonima. It was grown in Obonoma. It was grown in Buguma, in Krakrama, in all these places. It was grown in Okrika. Yam was grown in Ogoni. So all these things have been devastated. Our land has been devastated. So we have government after government coming up and lying to us how they're going to stop gas flaring, how they're going to stop oil spills, how Ogoni is going to be cleaned up, and yet none of these things have taken place. In the meantime, our people in the Niger Delta have been so wrapped up in political party loyalty. Listen to what I'm saying. Political party loyalty. I'm not saying nobody should belong to a political party. That's not what I'm saying. But you're belonging to a political party as a Rivers man, as a Niger Delta indigene, does not mean that you will first of all be loyal to the political party and the leaders and controllers of those political parties, who are not incidentally Niger Delta people. The role of the Niger Delta people in political parties is to bring the political parties to your community, to your state, to your local government, and do what the controllers and the owners of these political parties tell you to do. And in all the cases, when you're loyal to a political party, you have become disloyal to yourself, to your people, to your state, and to your region. It's just as simple as that. Because what the political party wants becomes more important than what is good for you, what is good for your community, what is good for your state, what is good for your local government, and what is good for your region. This is foolishness. It is not patriotism, because you cannot be patriotic if to a country if you're not patriotic to your people before you can be patriotic to a country. In a country where you have over 300, almost 400, between 300 and 400 ethnic nationalities, everybody must look out for himself, and we must collectively watch each other's back as we are neighboring states and neighboring communities and neighboring local government. This is the responsibility that we owe ourselves. Now, why am I saying security? I know that people will talk about security in Rivers State or security in the Niger Delta. We will address those issues, because the insecurity that is across Nigeria, the killings in Kaduna, is not any the insecurity in Rivers State. You cannot compare it, even if you look at the piracy that our people are putting us through, because it is only riverine people, Rivers State people, Niger Delta people that can do things like piracy openly, because we know the region. So I'm not running away from the issues that we must confront. We must confront these issues. We know that there is poverty in the land. We know that there is unemployment in the land. We know that the Niger Delta is the worst off. But we must begin to realize that these are issues that if we don't confront it for ourselves, Nobody's going to confront it for us. So if we're going to make changes, that's why I think Gandhi said, the late Gandhi said, that you must be the change that you want to see. We must be the change that we have been shortchanged. We have been neglected. We have been abused from a very long time. Even the